and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Thiology 101 on Wednesday evening. Folks, welcome to another edition. I'll be joined by the Doc himself in just a moment, but we are back at it again, and we just had a show last night. We are here tonight doing it, and we are about to touch on the it's Injury Wednesday. We get to talk about who's in, who's out, who didn't practice, who's limited, who's not, who's on IR, who do we sign, all the things that have everything to do with this Bills roster going into this week. So without further ado, you know what time it is. I'm about to bring my homie on, the Thigh Doc, and he's about to break down what we need to know as a Bills audience, as Bills fans, and what should we be looking out for. And he usually keeps us straight and keeps us honest. So without further ado, we're going to bring in my man, the Thigh. Let me tell you something, man. I often see in the comment sections, hey, where'd you get that song? What song? Where'd you find that song? Keep it a secret. You don't need to tell anybody. They can try to Shazam it if they want to. Highly doubt they'll find it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Thigh Doc is in the building. You know what? I finally found a way to give you the introduction you deserve. The Thigh Doc is in the building. Let's go. Thigh Doc, talk to me. What's good, man? What's happening?
Hey, we're good. Very excited. I'm heading up to the game.
Oh, you're going to the game. Ooh, you better bring that positive energy for these Bills to get this dub at home. If you do me a favor, can you zoom in a little bit on that 44 chest of yours and bring it a little closer?
I think it's 46.
That's 46. My bad, homie. My bad. Hey, Papa Peck. We got Papa Peck 2.0 right here. All right. That's a sick shirt though. I like that.
Thank you.
Here we go. Where do we begin? Should we begin by looking at the injury list that came out by the Bills PR? I think we should do that. Let me share my screen real quick, and we can kind of go right into where you're most concerned and where you're the least concerned. And I think I'm going to start with the least concerned when we hit this list. So if we're looking at this list right now, as you can see, obviously we've got the limited participants, Joey Bosa being a vet rest, which is not a big deal. We don't got to talk about it. Jordan Phillips vet rest. Then you got the right calf. What the heck? Right calf by Mr. Prater. And then someone that is catching a lot of Bills fans' eyes is Mr. Shaq Thompson with the hamstring. Talk to us about these two guys right here, Prater and Shaq Thompson.
Yeah, so Prater wasn't discussed pregame with McDermott. So the fear is that he's having some calf trouble that started today. Let's cross our fingers and hope that's not the case and it's just some maintenance for him. Sometimes he does miss. He doesn't mention everybody. But there is fear that he has a calf injury from practice today. If that's the case, it's a little bit of SOS here. This could be break glass and bring back Bass.
Ooh.
I don't think they would sign a new guy. I think Bass is on the heater here, and they're just what we talked about last week. Prater's an older guy.
Yep.
Power to the 40-year-olds, but this stuff will pop up. And I would think at this point, Bass has had enough rest to at least give it a go, but we will see.
It is interesting because Prater has done a phenomenal job for coming in and being somebody that we can actually rely on and hit some big-time field goals. I mean, kudos to him. I think, 2 extra points missed this year and 1 field goal missed, and he's been pretty money ever since. But is this something where you'd kind of say, oh, calf is hurting you? IR, here comes Mr. Bass. Or do you kind of hold off a little bit? Do you try to keep rolling with Prater until the wheels fall off, until he starts to kind of start missing, but you don't want to get to that point? So where's that sweet spot? Is it now, or do you wait a couple weeks?
No, I think if Prater's healthy, we stick with Prater. I mean, he's been very comfortable with how he's doing out there. But if it's a calf strain, a legit calf strain happened today in practice, he won't be kicking. So let's see. It might just be sore and they just limited him. And it
Okay.
was something that he's been dealing with. That's the ideal situation that he can play through it.
All right. Okay. Well, listen, we're gonna get right on to the rest of it because the list here is not something that is daunting. So we'll go with that. So next on the list, obviously, is the guys that did not practice. All right. So obviously, we have Ray Davis with an illness, and I'm gonna have a question for you. I want not
Yeah.
necessarily something that's deep dive, but it crossed my mind earlier today. Anyway, Daquan Jones still dealing with the calf injury, so we'll
Yeah.
talk about that. Whether we'll have him back or not. It's funny because you have him with dealing with the calf, and then you have my friend Mr. Josh Palmer still with the did not practice. So let's talk about that. Josh Palmer, Daquan Jones, and we'll get into Ray Davis afterwards. But yeah, Daquan Jones and Josh Palmer. What are we looking at here? Can we see them suiting up? I know it's early. We'll find out a little bit more this week, but like, can they suit up against the Chiefs this week?
Yeah. So with a calf injury, um, in a normal situation, a calf injury is 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Usually 3 is the sweet spot. He's coming up on 3 weeks. He got hurt right before the Atlanta Falcons game, so he's at two weeks and change right now. You would have liked to see him limited today if there was a way we can get him active for this weekend. The fact that he's not practicing today, I don't think he's playing. Now he's also an older player. He's mid
Yep.
30s, and he's
Yep.
had the calf injuries before, so I think it was going to be a hard pull to get him to play in 3 weeks. Um, I think you're looking more at next week or the week after. And then
Damn.
when yeah, I know, unfortunately. And, I was hoping that maybe this could work out because now we can talk about him in a little bit, but Ed Oliver's out. So that
Yes.
Jones back would have been huge, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And then in regards to Josh Palmer,
Josh Palmer. Yep.
he's got a high ankle sprain. Again, that's about a 4 week injury. Sometimes they could take up to 6 if they're a bad one. And he's listed with the knee. So the way he got hurt is he kind of twisted his ankle, which was obvious, but his knee also collapsed in as well. So I would 99.9% sure he's dealing with an MCL injury of his knee as well. MCLs are pretty easy to recover from because they got good blood supply. Those are like a 2 to 3 week injury, but then you
Yeah,
have
man.
6 week injury for a high ankle sprain. He also got hurt in the Falcons game, so that would put him at 2.5 weeks. So
Yeah. It's too soon.
I mean, Ed Oliver came back in 3 weeks from his high ankle sprain a long time ago, but then he struggled. And this is a skill player. So
Yeah.
I
You
wasn't
got to take the
hopeful.
full time.
Yeah, not that I wasn't hopeful, but I didn't put much stock into him coming back this week, which is unfortunate because we could obviously use him. But next week is a good possibility. Again, another guy who, just like Daquan Jones, next week or the week after.
It's an interesting scenario that the Bills are put in because you've got Bills Mafia clamoring for a speedy receiver, a deep threat, if you will, deep threat. And the trade deadline is around the corner. You've got Josh Palmer that still has another 2, maybe 3 weeks left of really, if he really wants to come back full go, you really got to give him the time off. So then the Bills are in a predicament. Do you go with what you have right now, which is not so great offensively and with the package? Or do you go and make a trade knowing that you're going to get Palmer back and now you've got a influx of a bunch of receivers? Furthermore, you have Gabe Davis that has now been activated to the practice squad. So let's transition a little bit into that because I really do want to get your thoughts on this. So Gabe Davis being activated, what he's being activated from, and then we will touch on: do you make a move at receiver, or are you confident in this core that you're like, I'm good on making a trade for a receiver. I'm just going to wait for Palmer to come back, and then we can run our actual offense with a sprinkle potentially of Gabe Davis. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So I've seen the
It's a lot.
analytics. Basically, Keon is bad at man and zone. Palmer's good against man, which is what we need, but somehow he struggles against zone. I don't know if that's just the position he's playing. Kincaid's good at both, but that is a tight end. And since we use him like a receiver, I'd like to see how he's compared against a receiver.
Right.
And then Shakir is good at both, but he runs short routes. He doesn't stretch
Correct.
the field. I'm pretty sure. Listen, I play football, but I don't have the time to do the X's and O's and say, I'm watching the all 22 for 3 hours and tell you what I see.
Right.
It's past the eye test with me, and I like to watch the linemen. I can tell you how the linemen are doing a little better. But it looks like the Bills are in a situation where teams know they could blitz them because we can't separate against man defense. So you're clogging up all the lanes for Josh Allen. He can't run around. And then he's got no one open. So we're up shit's creek a bit. If teams just sat back in the cover two, which I'm pretty sure the front office was like, oh, everyone plays the cover two. We'll just run against that and then we could pick them apart. But teams are like, no, we're not going to sit around. These guys can't get open against man, and we're just going to blitz Josh so he can't scramble around all day. Now, he used to do good against man coverage with a blitz.
And the blitz.
But I'm pretty sure teams have figured out how to flush those lanes. And Josh is not a 22-year-old anymore. I mean, he's not a spry chicken. He can still move around. He's still athletic. But he's not the same Josh Allen we grew up on 7 years ago. So with that said, they definitely need a man beater who can stretch the field. I don't know why Curtis Samuel can't be that guy. I understand he can't stay healthy, but I think that's what they wanted him for. And same thing with Elijah Moore. So they can either figure it out in-house and somehow use those two guys, or they have to go out and get someone. And it would be nice if it was someone who could not just get open on man on the blitzes, but also can stretch the field, which can open up more things underneath. So if I had to pick a guy, I do like the Rashid guy from the Saints. I think that makes the most sense.
Okay.
Economical contract you can fit. You might have to restructure someone to get under the cap, but still, it's a 1-year deal. It's a rental. Shouldn't be too much on the draft picks, and he kind of fits exactly what you want. So, what do you think, buddy?
Buddy, listen, I'm in the camp of I don't freaking know. Like when I think I can piece together some ideas of like where we could go, and then a wrinkle's thrown in to the whole scenario, and then you're not sure, and then you think you have something, and then new metrics come out and tell you what you're seeing is not true because this is what the metrics are telling you. So then how much do you follow these metrics that are out there, and how much do you follow the eye test? And now and if we're in this conundrum, I'm rest assured you could believe that the coaches are in a conundrum. Like, how do we figure this thing out? So like I'm in that, I'm not sure, man. And typically I have some kind of opinion to share. I thought I was somewhere, and now I'm reading and seeing new things, and I'm like, man, I'm like, what the heck's the deal? And then it just comes down to what you see. At the end of the day, you got to trust what you see. And so far, what I've seen is a dysfunctional offense. It just doesn't seem balanced, right? We were praised for being balanced on the ground and balanced in the air. And right now, if you were to look at us right now, are we balanced? We're a little top heavy. We're a run team, and then we will play off the run, which is not a bad thing. So what do we do with this position? You can go ahead and get a Shaheed, but are we going to relegate him to the same thing that Curtis Samuel is and Elijah Moore? Then now we just wasted assets to go get a guy that's just going to do the same thing. Or is he a different athlete? That is where you have to kind of figure out how much he brings to this offense. So I'm on the fence. At first, I was leaning towards one side. Now I'm right back onto the fence, and I'm like, man, y'all better figure something out. You guys better figure something out. So speaking of being on the fence, now we have to figure out, okay, Gabe Davis now activated to the practice squad. Likelihood, first of all, what was he dealing with? Because
so he's a year out from a meniscal repair, and meniscal repairs take, I mean, nine months max. So I don't know what the holdup is. I assumed he couldn't find a landing.
Hold on, did you say 9 months?
9 months is the recovery.
Okay, and where he's at that 9-month mark?
Not all meniscal repairs take 9 months. That is like the end of the spectrum. What's his name? Jalen Ramsey came back in 3 months, which was way too early, in my opinion. I think 5's the sweet spot. So
he's beyond that.
Yes. So either he's fine, couldn't find a landing place, and they found a loophole to get him on the roster, let him work out, train, and break glass with him, or it wasn't as simple as just a meniscal repair and he had a cartilage issue. Sometimes with those cartilage issues, I mean, meniscus needs to be addressed, but then there's also cartilage damage. They can do biologics. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds, but They could do procedures that like transfer cartilage or use stem cells. I mean, that's the guys who used to go over to Germany, like Kobe and them. And those things you really got to, you can't move much for a couple months. So it really delays that
Of course.
recovery. So
Hmm.
all things considered, I would assume he's okay. And he didn't have anywhere to go. He didn't like what, was it go to Pittsburgh or does it come to Buffalo? And he was probably like, come to Buffalo, sit on the practice squad, and when they're ready for me, they call me up.
They'll call me up.
Now, what is Gabe Davis going to do for this offense? I understand he
Great
can
question.
stretch the field. He can do what he did with us last time, but he's not this fast man beater that's going to unlock the offense. I mean, if they just need a guy to run deep, I mean, just have Keon Coleman do that. But it appears that we're getting blitzed and guys are getting locked up and there's nowhere to go.
It's funny that you
Also,
mentioned. Yep. Go ahead.
yeah, but it's just like also it's not that simple because there are plays where guys are open, but it's a little bit of a snowball effect, right? So Josh is now feeling the heat. He's not trusting his receivers, and now when guys are springing open, it's just not clicking. Now, can that get better? Yes. Do I think you can just hit a switch and say, "Oh, I watched the film this week, and now all the plays are going to work"? No, it usually happens over like a month process. You get a little better each week until you're
Right.
fully running.
Right.
And then the other thing is, I don't know. We're not the coaches. We don't know. Are they holding something back, Rico? Do they have a whole another bag they're gonna drop and they just kind of waiting for these big games to do it? I'm hoping it's the latter and that's the case. And they're just been, how predictable are they? I mean, they even said it on air a couple weeks ago. They're like, every time they're in shotgun, it's like 73% pass. That they're under center, 73% run. I
I
don't
can
know if
believe.
he's just being like cocky about it and like, hey, we can beat them when they know what's coming because they run the same play over and over and over and over again all the time. It's almost like kind of like a FU kind of deal. We're better than you. And just hopefully they got all this stuff they're just waiting to unleash. But I'd put that at a 25% chance that's the case. So we'll
I'll
see.
drop that to 10%.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I understand that premise because it's something that we could hold on to. Like, well, maybe they're not giving us everything, right? Maybe we knew that we were playing the Panthers and we were going to force our will and run all over these Panthers and throw screens and we're not going to show anything. I mean, it's easy to run with that narrative and say we're not going to show anything because we're going to really show Spags and these Chiefs next week because all they saw were 19 pass attempts and 12 completions. So we didn't really show much in the passing game. By design, who knows, right? Depending on what kind of person you are. But
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how the Bills come out and play this. Do they start tossing the thing deep, or my little guy came down to say what's up, or is it something that they keep short and we're just looking at a broken offense? I don't know what's going to take place, but we'll soon see. So I know you're limited on time, so I'm going to ask you this last little bit. Ed Oliver, I'm going to touch on Ed Oliver. Yeah. I know he was placed on the IR. Indefinitely is what they kept on using. So yeah. I know you kind of touched on the timeline. What's the closest, like the soonest we could see him come back? And obviously IR, he doesn't come back. So how soon do you think he could return? Like, what's the quickest you've seen someone come back from that?
You're not gonna. The quickest documented is past the playoffs by a hair. I mean, Milano's one of the first guys who came back that quick. He came back in 3.5 months. So the bicep tendons, they're tricky. They don't rush these back, but they're a little more rare. And when they happen in like mid to late season, it like stretches the norms because those guys are just out for the year. If your team's not in it, there's no reason to push you back. You need the perfect circumstances to like break the trends of coming back early from a surgery. JJ Watt, 11 weeks from a pec. It's never been done before, but now it's been done. Now it's been replicated because they've seen it's happened. So Daquan Jones came back that quick from it too. They're like, oh, look, we could actually do it with medicine. The biceps a little different.
Cam Akers came back from an Achilles, like in 5 months? Something stupid.
Months.
Like,
yeah,
crazy.
That was correct.
Sorry, go ahead.
Where is he now? He's washed up now, though. But anyways, what was I going to say? So it's a bicep. It's a D lineman, though, which adds a layer to it because it's a lot of pulling. I mean, it's your bicep. You got to pull. You got to rotate. That's all coming from your bicep. But the moral of the story is about 3.5 months is the Super Bowl. If they want to break all trends and come back 2 weeks earlier, AFC Championship. But I don't think you're seeing him I don't think you will see him before the AFC Championship. But that is the quickest I would imagine. And then I do think he would play in the Super Bowl if we got to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so there's no miraculous. He comes back in like a month sooner. No. It's not. It doesn't work that way. This pull twist. It's just too tough to kind of deal with that. Torn bicep, torn pec. Just as severe as the other. Is one worse than the other, or tougher to play with than the other? I would assume the chest.
I would assume the pec's harder because it's a bigger prime mover.
That's right.
And you get pulled tackling all the time. But the harness for the pec can really stop you from going back. Whereas the bicep, you're going to have to wear an elbow brace, and it's a smaller tendon. So potentially, I talked to my buddy. One of my buddies is a surgeon. Okay. And he said the earliest I would consider is between 3 and 4 months. And I was like, you sure? What about all the pecs coming back at 11 and 12 weeks? It's just a tendon. And he couldn't tell me why he wouldn't consider it. It's just that there's no research that has had them come back that early.
Understood.
So I don't know, unless the Bills want to change the game, they could try it. But the earlier you come back, the easier it is to re-tear it. But you're doing it in the playoffs, so you have all off season. Now, the tricep, which in my opinion is a little more important because that's the pressing. The kid Graham from the Eagles came back early to get back to the Super Bowl, but he retore his tricep in the Super Bowl. Then he retired, and he actually unretired this week. So
yeah, it's weird.
Interesting. Yeah.
It is interesting. Okay, so one last question. This is not Bills related. Yeah. I need your opinion. Carson Wentz, he looked like an awful, awful mess. The Vikings continue to put him out there.
Yeah.
Why do that to yourself? Gutting it out for the team when you have a torn labrum, torn this and torn that. Like, you're about to be replaced. It's not like you're going to be a long-term starter. Dude, just preserve yourself. And he just looked awful. Your thoughts on watching that Vikings game and watching him just agonize in pain? That was brutal to watch.
Yeah. Carson Wentz is a little bit of a character. So he might have been looking for some compassion. But anyways, not to downplay because he does need surgery now.
Right.
But it's his non-throwing shoulder. You wear a harness. Josh Allen would try to play through a left shoulder labral tear, but it was just too painful for him. And it depends. Like, what's a labrum? Is it just a tear in the labrum? There's a slap tear where you tear it in the back. That usually happens when you go on an outstretched arm. But there's also you tear your labrum because you dislocated your shoulder. Now, was his shoulder continuing to pop out of the socket? Those ones you just fix them before you beat up the cartilage and the bone of your humerus. But with that said, because they were in a conundrum, and you got to live by the code in the locker room. How do you get respect? Okay, your starting quarterback's down. You're the backup. We need 1 week out of you, kid, and then he's coming back next week. Can you do it?
Right.
Yeah, coach. Give me the Toradol. Lace it up. Let's go. Things fell apart. I felt like the more they were down, the more it hurt. So just keep it.
That's the character thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
A bit of a character. Well, listen, I appreciate you giving us the lowdown. Obviously, if you guys have not been paying attention, my guy Thigh Doc has his article and more of a breakdown, a finality of his breakdowns of who's in, who's out, what are we to look forward to Saturday mornings, thighdoctor.com. Go ahead and jump all over that. Is there anything else that we should be looking forward to from you, my guy, the Thigh Doc?
No, if you want up-to-date stuff, just follow my handle. I try to pin anything that's important. I'll pin it. So it's at the top. You don't have to scroll through a bunch of stuff. Oh, I'm on the big screen.
That's right, baby.
Just follow me on X. Check out the website, thighdoctor.com. And when in doubt, kids, thigh it out.
I love it. When in doubt, thigh it out. Ladies and gentlemen, our guy, the Thigh Doc, he's out of here. He's got engagements that he's got to get to. We appreciate you, my G. And like always, we're going to do this again next week. And hopefully that list continues to shrink and shrink and shrink, where if we have a week that we don't have to talk about anything, wonderful. We'll take that every day. Appreciate you, my G.
All right. Love you, man. Take it easy. Go Bills.
Yes, sir. Love you, man. Peace. All right. That's our guy, the Thigh Doctor, coming through heavy. showing some love, and I love it because I'm learning honestly, and I say this with all sincerity, man. I'm learning a lot from just listening to him talk, and it must be nice to be a physical therapist and say, my surgeon buddy told me that my surgeon friend and my this, that, and the third. You love that, right? When you're in that profession, you're gonna rub shoulders with some people, and that's why he knows these things. That's why he can give you a prognosis of like, yo, this is how long these injuries take to heal. Coming back, this is the earliest, but most likely we may not see Ed Oliver back this year unless we do what we all wish that we can do, is not only win in the AFC Championship game, but head to the Super Bowl, right? And by then he would have the I guess enough time in that window to heal up and give us everything he's got in that one last game before we head into the offseason. So that's what we're looking for. That's what we're hoping for. So big shout out to my guy, the Thigh Doc. All right, before I get out of here, I do want to touch on one thing, folks, before we do leave. So obviously Thursday night game is going to be an interesting one. We got the an AFC matchup. It's the Ravens and I believe the Dolphins are going to be jumping on and getting busy. So looking forward to that. So folks, what's the deal? You know the deal. $20, man. $20 entry gets you some money to make some choice decisions, right? You got some decisions to make. And hopefully your boy, can help you out. So you can get up to $100, 100% match using the code BF25 up to $100. So that being said, let us take a look. Let us take a look. See, let me stop sharing my page and share another page with you. And let's take a look. See at what your boy decided to put through, and see, can we make something happen with this lineup? So let me just kind of share my screen here. Excellent. So here's the deal, folks. What are we looking at here? All right. Can we see this happening here? Can we see this happening? Take a look. I've got obviously a free pick 'em. You know, I'm always going to take something free. Anything free, you take it. You take it no matter what. So Lamar Jackson should play. We thought he was going to play last week, and my man said, nah, I'm good. Rumor has it the Ravens had the ping pong table taken out. They had all the fun activities taken out. And it turns out that Lamar Jackson is the one that said, I want them all. I want all these things that we're not focused, right? Everybody's too busy podcasting and doing all this nonsense. Yo, I need my guys locked in. So ping pong table gone, foosball table gone. I want it all out. And it seems as though it worked because the Ravens came out and got a dub last week. And they look dominant. And here they come with Lamar Jackson coming back. So give me that yards on the more side. Derrick Henry. Haven't really heard that brother's name too much, but he's always good for a touchdown. No matter how you want to slice it, he's always good for a touchdown. So give me Derrick Henry with at least a touchdown, at least a tutty, especially with Lamar Jackson back, bro. That changes everything. That absolutely changes everything. And then Jalen Waddle. You don't have Tyreek, so he's been the guy. He's been the man. And Tua had one of his best games last week. So why not? So give me Jalen Waddle with 61 points, 61 and a half yards. Give me that. I mean, there's no way. And I've seen the Ravens defense, man. The Ravens defense can be spotty. And if Tua is hitting everything on time, we can see something. But I feel that if it's gonna go the way I think it's gonna go, the Ravens will be up. They'll be running the rock. This is where Derrick Henry gets his. Since the Dolphins will be down, this is where Jalen Waddle gets his. It just makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So you guys let me know what your thoughts are on that. And if you guys are confused, listen, use the code BF25 and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. You know, the terms and conditions always apply. See that sleeper terms for the use of details. So obviously you guys know it's currently operational in 25 states. So check out your sleeper today, my guys. So here we go. By the way, just a little update on my life with fantasy. I took a bad loss last week. I'm not very happy about it. It was a tough one. I thought I had it in the bag, closed my eyes, came back. I was like, golly, you're kidding me. And then I had another one where Zach Ertz was the same. That was a guy that I was playing. I was up by 8. Zach Ertz is up. What the heck happened here? Hold on, let me see here. You guys still here? All right. Zach Ertz is up. Something happened on my screen there. Zach Ertz is up. I'm ready to go. And then he only puts 5 points up. Your boy gets the dub. I'll take that all day, every day. You ain't got to talk to me about anything else. I'm good. I'll take that dub. And if it call it cheap dub or not, I'll take it. Every time you give me that opportunity, I'm gonna go for it. So that being said, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Now, I do want to share something else. There's a clip that is circulating, and I retweeted it. And this is why I mentioned to you guys about being on the fence with this freaking receiver topic. Bro, aren't we getting sick of this thing, by the way? This topic of receiver. I feel I'm getting sick of it, but it's that's what people are talking about. So how do you not? It's affecting this offense. It's affecting all the things that are going on right now, if you've been paying attention. So here we go. Steve Smith. If you guys are familiar with Steve Smith is, in my opinion, a future Hall of Famer. He's one of my favorite players to watch, because he played with utmost skill at only being 5'9", 5'10" the most. But he was a bully on the field at 5'9". You didn't mess with that dude, and he meant it. You just didn't. He just played with that attitude. So here's the deal. He's got a podcast, I believe, with I think James Palmer. James Palmer, I believe, is a insider with Bleacher Report. That's the company that I actually stream with. So shout out to Bleacher Report. But here's the deal. If you guys have not seen this clip, it's a 3-minute clip, so bear with me. I want you guys to view this with me. And I found it fascinating. And I can't not play it. I can't, because he said some things that made a lot of sense. And for all the things that I've been trying to kind of wrap my head around, bro, it's not Keon Coleman. He can't be bad. He can't be this. And I still right now stand on that. I just feel he is good. We just got to figure out the best way to use him. Yes, there are metrics that show that. No, and I saw a lot of metrics today showing he's just not there in separation. He's not there in winning his route. He's not there in yak. He's just not. When you look at the raw statistical numbers and the metrics, it's showing that he's a poor receiver. But we saw such, I guess, potential last year. How could he take such a dip? But there's also the sophomore slump. So is this the sophomore slump? So there's a lot that plays into this situation. So without further ado, let me share my screen and let me play this video for you guys, because I think it's crucial that we watch this together, so we have an idea and let's formulate. Let's talk about it. Let's have some thoughts on it. So let me play this video, and you guys let me know if the audio is up. Let's go.
Oh, there was a lot of hype, Steve, after week 1 about Bills wide receiver Keon Coleman. But you saw something back then, and let's revisit before we talk about him now.
I like what I'm seeing, but I'm not throwing a parade down Main Street because of one game. Now I'm excited to see, man, let's see, can he do it again?
Steve, week 1, 11 targets, 8 catches, 112 yards. Since 155 total yards, he is 72nd in receiving. That's not very good for your number one, your X wide receiver on the outside. Yes, they have a lot of other mouths to feed in this offense, Steve, but this is a very, very big issue on a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. The reigning MVP at quarterback has really essentially, they don't have a down the field passing game right now, and it is a concern. What have you seen from Keon Coleman since week 1? Because we said, hey, you said it. I want to see consistency. I want to see him do it week in and week out. We saw it for a burst there. We have not seen it since.
Well, the short version, nothing. I haven't seen anything from him because he hasn't had the opportunities, because the opportunities don't make themselves available. He just doesn't get open fast enough. Look at his route tree right now on this graphic. He doesn't show you. He shows you right now He has not run one comeback. Look at these numbers, man. Look, this is crazy. 35% is a go route. Out of the receiving snaps, yak per reception, yak 1.6. Just doesn't, he doesn't do it, right? You see he's up here at the top. Look how he catches the football on that slant. That he snagged that ball with his body. Look. He has zero confidence in his game right now. I don't care what lie he's telling you. He could tell you that what I wrote in my notes, caught with so unsure hands. That tells me everything.
And everything is what? He's not comfortable. He's fighting it. He's what?
So first of all, go back. He's looking at the quarterback. He's looking at the ball like every receiver. You can see the tight end Knox is down at the bottom. When you're at the line of scrimmage, you have to look at the football because you can't hear the snap count, especially depending on when you're not home. He runs the route. He never looks at the corner. Never. Because he doesn't believe in what he's doing. And that's a lack of in him. Then when he catches it with his body, first thing he does is, what does he do? He corrals. Why? Because he never looked at the corner and he has no idea where the defender is on the field. He corrals.
Interesting.
Why?
I'm just gonna
because
let me see this play
in what he's doing.
So
and that's a lack of
one route being run on this route.
Then when
one route being run, you got all these guys here. I mean, obviously you're trying to sell run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in the box. You're trying to sell, that you're going to pass this, you're going to run this football. So obviously you can see what's taking place here.
He never looks at.
Everybody takes a step forward. Boom. Everybody's taking a step forward. So Josh is like, nah, bro. Like, I mean, it was meant to be a pass. It was just meant to be like, there was no other routes on this play here, whether that means something or not. We know what's happening here, but that's not the point. The point is Keon's been getting work. And when I say he's been getting work, I'm talking about he's going to be getting work from fans. He's getting work from the media, and the metrics are killing him. So what do you trust? Do you trust the analytics? Do you trust the metrics? Do you trust your eyes? Do you trust what Josh Allen's doing? Obviously, we have to. The guy's an MVP. The guy's a Pro Bowler. He's an All-Pro. Like, the guy's legit. So you can't not trust Josh Allen. Do you trust your offensive coordinator? I mean, you have Keon Coleman one-on-one. He's not known to be a one-on-one guy. He's not known to beat anybody, but yet you have him as the guy one-on-one with this guy running a slant. Is he the one that you want there? How do you not put him there? So there's a lot of questions that you have to ask your coordinator, right? He's the only one running the route, and you have him running a slant. All right, so that's one. That's number one. So let me remove that for a quick second, and then let me show you this, because I had to really get a closer look at the route tree that they're referring to. So 35% of his routes are go routes, right? And then corner routes, he's running 4.9% of them. So they don't really run him on corner routes. A post, you ain't going to see this guy run a post. 1.6% of the time he's running a post. Less than 5% he's running post. He's running ins. He's just over 5% in running an out route. He runs 0 comebacks. So they've relegated him to hitch. They've relegated him to go routes. And the next thing is a crossing route. So 35% go, 18% hitch, 14% in crossing routes, 12% slant. So no comebacks, because obviously the DBs are going to break on that. So they probably don't like him doing that. So it's tough when you see these metrics. How do you sit here and try to debate somebody like Steve Smith that's done it, that probably will be in the Hall of Fame, and he's watching this guy since week 1, and he's saying he hasn't done a whole lot. So it's tough because, like, you want Keon to succeed so much. I wanted to succeed. I wanted to succeed for Josh. I want Josh to succeed for the rest of this offense. But the metrics and even Steve Smith coming in, and the guy that played the position is seeing this. How do you dispute what Steve Smith is saying? Now, there could be somebody else that comes out and says, well, hold on, timeout, right? I'm not analytically inclined enough to, like, dive through it and say, well, hold on, Steve Smith, but you got to look at this, right? So there might be another player that comes in and says, well, hold on, just give me a second here. Let me show you why he's struggling. Because if you look at this offense, if you look at the scheme, they're not giving him the things that he does well, right? I mean, look back, and I'm looking at what they gave him in college. There was a game I watched in college. One of his highlights, I was like, okay, what are we missing here? And he had one of those games where he had like a 5 touchdown day or 4 touchdown day. I don't know what it was. And it was a lot of like jump balls, and maybe there was a post. They sent that brother on a post and he got that, and he just went up for it and brought it down. We don't even give this guy posts. We don't give this guy comebacks. We don't give him all the things that you mean a possession receiver could, get separation. But I mean, you're going to need separation to these things too. But his route tree is limited, whether it's because he's limited or they've limited him to that. The point is, it's not working out the way we want it to work out for him, because if you're looking at these numbers, most of his routes they're just saying, yo, just run a go route, bro. I'll run routes with the other guys. It's disheartening. Now, the one thing that I will say is it's tough watching people talk about the receiver that the team drafted. You want to give the receiver that you drafted ample opportunity to go in and do work. But then here's another aspect to look at too. The same metrics that have Keon Coleman, near the bottom of the league in terms of separation, you name it, etc. Do you know who else is next to his name? DK Metcalf. And DK Metcalf was the same player that a whole lot of Bills fans were clamoring for to be traded to the Bills. Bring us DK Metcalf. We would love DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is near the bottom of the league with him as well. And he's being thrown to by a Hall of Fame quarterback. So this is why I'm like, do you trust these metrics? There's got to be validity to these metrics, right? But if you look at these metrics that you see Keon Coleman near the bottom, near the end, near the just by himself and not in a favorable light, DK is right next to him. But half of y'all would say, yo, give me, if I was able to switch DK for Keon Coleman, give it to me. But if you look at all the metrics, he's right near Keon Coleman. So for those that, I'd love for someone to explain that to me. I don't watch the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Pittsburgh Steelers are sick and tired of DK. I have no idea. What I do know is that we got to figure this thing out, and we got to figure this thing out fast. Now, that being said, this trade deadline. This trade deadline is just around the corner. Some say the Bills are in conversation to try to bring a receiver into Buffalo. Some say that don't think any receivers are coming to Buffalo because them putting Gabe Davis and activating him on the practice squad is probably going to be the elevation that we will probably get sometime soon. I don't know. But all I do know is Brandon Beane needs to make a statement. The statement is he either trades for a receiver, and that receiver is supposed to be a difference maker, because you don't go and trade someone in the middle of the season and give up some picks for your guy to just do absolutely nothing like everybody else on this receiving core. Or the statement is you stand put and you stand pat and you say, I don't need any other receivers. These guys have to step their game up and we're going to get it sorted out. We've had 8 weeks to try to figure this out and just hasn't looked good. So guess what? I was in the camp that I didn't feel like we needed to go and get anybody, not because I didn't think this receiving room was talented. I still think they're talented. I just don't think we're going to utilize them the way I think we should, because we're not even utilizing the guys that we have on this team. Like, check this out. Everybody's clamoring for a speedy receiver, a deep threat. What is a deep threat receiver? Can you explain to me what a deep threat receiver is? I would assume that somebody that threatens the over the top. You got to be fearful of this person's speed, and that way they're able to separate and get open, right? That's your deep threat. They're always a threat to go deep. So what characteristics, what skill set do you have to have? Speed is one of them. Last time I checked, Elijah Moore, doesn't he run a 4.443? Last time I checked, doesn't Curtis Samuel, didn't he run a 4.3? So we have the threat, the speed of someone going to threaten these guys, but we don't utilize that. So explain to me how we bringing in someone that's a deep threat is going to change anything. Do I want it to? Absolutely. Will it? Have we seen it this year? No. But it's because we just don't have that dynamic receiver. Maybe it's not the speed that we're looking for, is we're looking for and we're waiting for a dynamic receiver. We had one, remember? Stephon Diggs, dynamic receiver. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the biggest. He wasn't the strongest. But you know what he did? He knew how to get open. He understood how to read a defense. He knew where to sit, where to not sit, how to read a DB. Is the DB shading inside? Is he shading outside? Is he going to stack him? Is he going to stem? Like, there's all those things that play into a receiver's mind. Diggs gave you that. And that's why there was such a 1-2 connection between him and Josh. Do we not have that right now with this receiving core? And what player are we going to get this late in the season that's going to give us that the team that's going to be giving them up says, this guy doesn't do it for me? All of a sudden, we're going to make this guy that? Yeah, but we have Josh Allen, so Josh Allen will do that. So why isn't Josh Allen doing that right now with his guys? You feel what I'm saying? So, like, that's why I'm torn on this thing, man, because, like, I know we haven't Josh Allen. The guy's talented as ever. But, like, now you're watching all this stuff go down. You're like, fam, like, you see what I'm saying? Can't even get the words out. This is baffling. It's absolutely baffling. It doesn't make any sense. How are we not able to have a balanced passing attack or something that at least gives fear or strikes fear into the defensive backfield? And now we're going up against a well-coached defensive team that is getting steam right now in the Kansas City Chiefs. And Spags has been a thorn in our side. How are we going to deal with this? So definitely food for thought. My man Sharon. What's up, Sharon? Sharon says, yo, 89 told no lies, man. Yo, he ain't lying. Yo, he made some valid points. How do you not listen to Steve Smith and not sit here and be like, yo, you right, bro? Like, you ain't lying. Everything you said right there was on point. Like, how do you not, understand what he's saying? Because everything was right there. It's crazy to me, man. It's crazy to me. So I just got an interesting text just sent to me in my DMs real quick. And somebody just sent me a message and a screenshot of Steve Smith's number his first 2 years. I don't need it to. So in 2001, he had a 2001 and 2002 season. He played 15 games year one and 15 games year two. Okay. And I understand the point that my brother's trying to make here. And this is fair. So let me just paint this picture for y'all. Steve Smith played how many years in the league? Steve Smith played many years in the league. All right. Can someone tell me what Steve Smith did in his first year? His first year in the league. What did he do? And he played 15 games. It's not like he didn't play. He played 15 games his first year in the league in 2001. I believe he got drafted in 2001. 10 receptions. Okay. He had 54 yards, 0 touchdowns. In 2002, 15 games played, 54 receptions, 872 yards, 3 touchdowns. All right. So it takes time, is what what I'm trying to say is. So you can poo-poo all over Keon. He's in his second year. So you have to have some kind of grace. And I'm glad that I got that message and I looked at it. You have to have some type of grace for certain players, because if we wanted to lambaste Josh Allen his first year, second year, and we were getting on his ass. Remember, second year, like, yo, he's got to start going, and we need to see something from him. And year 3, we need to see something. If he doesn't, spark in the fourth year, I'm done with this guy. And he did, but he put that work in. But he wasn't a polished product. And I think we're asking for a polished product from Keon Coleman. And is it fair? Is it fair to be asking for a polished product? Because I think when you look at all the things that people are saying, they're like, bro, like this guy is no good. He's this, that, and the third. But like, give him some time, because the very same players like Steve Smith, his first 2 years, not a whole lot. 64 receptions in his first 2 years, and he had less than 1,000 yards. What, Keon's rookie year, missed 4 games, had 600 yards? I'm in the top of my head here. 600 yards. Just give him some time. I mean, and that's the other angle to look at it. That's the other angle. Give him some time to learn, right? First year, he's learning, he's getting going. Second year, he had a great offseason. He knew what he needed to do. It's just hasn't panned out. Are these excuses? I don't know. But those are the facts too. He's in year 2, right? Give me your best. I'm just going to just for fun. Name me a receiver right now. Just a random. Don't look up stats. Just name me a receiver right now, and let's look up their first 2 years. And hopefully it's a receiver that people know, right? My man says, yo, Rico, I get it, but like 4 receivers out of Keon's draft class are in the top 100. And I get that part too. And that's the thing. That's why I can't dismiss it. That's why I'm like, you feel me? You see what I'm at. I'm not all the way on one side and another. I'm trying to show some love at the same time, because I know that it be like that sometimes. All right, let's use Samuel. Let's take a look. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick, and let's just go to look at stats. Let's go take a look. I got Curtis Samuel. Somebody said Curtis Samuel. We're going to look at Curtis Samuel stats. His first 2 years in the league. Okay, first 2 years in the league. Oh, stop it. First 2 years in the league for Curtis Samuel. I'm only using somebody else, somebody that said Curtis Samuel. So bear with me here. So Curtis Samuel, let me look at his full. He came into the league in 2017. So he came into the league in 2017. He had 15 receptions for 115 yards. In 2018, 39 receptions for 494 yards. In 2019, 54 receptions for 627. His best year came in his 4th year, 77 receptions for 851 yards. Okay, that's his year 4. All right, let's look at somebody else. Jalen Waddle. Let's just see what Jalen Waddle did. And I'm just using what everybody else is telling me in the stats right now. Okay, rookie year, 104 receptions, 1,000 yards. Year 2, this is in my way here. Year 2, 1,300 yards, 75 receptions. Year 3, he's got 3 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. So that's Jalen Waddle. Let me see who else. Give me somebody else. Devontae Adams. Let's see Devontae Adams. That's an interesting one. All right, let's go take a look at my man Devontae Adams. And this is it's and I'm using this, by the way, folks. Right? I'm using this just to have an idea, just to kind of show that sometimes it takes some people some time to develop and really get into that. So Devontae Adams with the Packers, year 1, 50 receptions, 483 yards. Year 2, 75 receptions, 997. Year 3, 74 receptions, 885. Year 4, 111 receptions, 1,300 yards, and then he just started to pile it on. So his first 2 years, his first year, 50 for 43, and he had a touchdown. His second year, 75 for 997. All right, that's a damn good year. He had 12 touchdowns that year, also being thrown to by Aaron Rodgers, right? His third year, 74 receptions, 885, 10 touchdowns. So there's Devonta Adams. Give me somebody else. I kind of like this, right? Just to kind of give you an idea of what. So someone said Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. All right. Well, we saw what Justin Jefferson did his first year. He freaking killed it. All right. Let me see. Let's go Jamar Chase. What did Jamar Chase do? I mean, it's unfair to use Jamar Chase, but that boy, nice as hell, boy. All right, Jamar Chase, and we'll do T. Higgins right after that. Okay, Jamar Chase stats, and then that's when I'll end my experiment with that. So Jamar Chase, dude, this guy killed it right off the rip. Rookie year, 81 receptions, 1,400 yards. His second year, 87, 1046. And obviously their skill sets are completely different, but it is what it is. Year 3, 100 receptions, 1,200 yards. Let's go T. Higgins. Last one I'm gonna do. Actually, I got 2 more. I'm gonna hit T. Higgins. Okay. There you go. T. Higgins stats. Year 1, 67 for 908. Year 2, 74 for 1091. Year 3, 74 for 1029. Okay. Last one for me, and that's T. Higgins, by the way. So his 3 years were solid. You can't even hate. You can't even lie. All right. I'm gonna go Jamison Williams, because he's not the number 1 receiver out there, but I'll put it out there anyway because he was drafted quite high, I believe. Okay. Year 1, I think wasn't he hurt in year 1? I can't recall. Okay. Anyway, this is what Jamison Williams has done so far in his career. Okay. Year 1, I won't count year 1 because he had 1 reception for 41 yards. I think there was some kind of thing that's going on. I think he was hurt, so he didn't play. So we'll go his official rookie year or second year. Say what you want about that one, right? 24 catches, 354 yards. Okay. In 2024, last year, he had 58 receptions, 1,000 yards. So far this year, he's got 17 catches for 289 yards. He's not hurt. He's been playing. Some might say, yo, this guy's a bum. What's up with Jamison Williams? He's a bum. He's got all the speed in the world. You got a big gun in an arm in Jared Goff. It's just some people develop differently, man. Some people develop differently. So that's where I'm in that. Have some grace for some of these players, but it's also okay to have expectations. And right now, he's not hitting expectations. He's not. Let me do one more. Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp might be tough, but we'll do Cooper Kupp because I'm a big fan of Cooper Kupp. Let's go Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp stats. Why does it give me Cooper Kupp stats like that? Everything was laid out for me totally different. All right. Rookie year, Cooper Kupp. Look this out. Okay. 7 games played. He played 7 games. He had 24 receptions for 293 yards and 1 touchdown. Rookie season. Nope, that's wrong. Forgive me. That's the wrong way. I was looking at it wrong. Okay. 15 games played. He had 62 for 869 yards. So slightly better than what Keon did last year. And Keon missed 4 games. Keep that in mind. Okay. Year 2 after that, he had games played. He had 8. So obviously he got hurt. He had 556 yards. This is where he started to really get going. 16 games played in 2019, 94 receptions, 1,100 yards, 92 receptions the year after that, 974. Then he went off right in 2021, right? 17 game played, 145 receptions. Golly, had 1,900 yards that game. That's when he won the Triple Crown, did he not? Not only that, but then he's fallen off. I call this fall off, but he had 75 receptions the year after that, 59, 67, and then now he's got 24 receptions. He's played 7 games, 24 receptions. He's got 293 yards. Let's just for fun, we're looking at Cooper Kupp right now, okay? And a lot of us will take Cooper Kupp in a blink of an eye. What is Keon Coleman's stats thus far this year? Keon Coleman so far this year, his rookie year, what did he do his rookie year? He had 29 receptions his rookie year for 556 yards, so just shy of 600 yards, and he missed 4 games. Let's not forget that, okay? Missed 4 games. He had 4 touchdown receptions. And so far this year, he's pretty much doing the same numbers as Cooper Kupp. 27 receptions, 267 yards, and he's got 2 touchdowns. That's pretty much what Cooper Kupp is doing. So Say what you want about the brother, man. Does he look interested in playing? Is he frazzled a little bit? Is he going through something? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Who said, Rico, look up everybody's favorite Worthy. Oh, let's look at Worthy. Last one we'll do before we get into it. And now, you know what? I might as well look up Stephon Diggs too. Nah, we might as well be here. The point, but I want you guys to understand the exercise that I'm doing here. It's year 2. It's year 2. Last year, he was a rookie that got hurt. And you saw the potential that we had in him because he had 2 games of over 125 yards? You saw the potential. He doesn't just become a bum overnight. We saw potential last year. We were excited for Keon going into year 2. Something's up. But also, let's keep it all the way 100. Something's also up with Josh. Something's also up with Josh. So we can't just put the blame solely on the receivers. Are they to be blamed a little bit? Of course. Is Josh to be blamed a little bit? Absolutely. Let's take a look at a couple more. Let's do Stephon Diggs first. Okay. Our favorite Bills receiver, Stephon Diggs. So Stephon Diggs in his first few years in the league with the Vikings. Year 1, 52 receptions for 720 yards and 4 touchdowns, the rookie year. Year 2, 84 receptions for 900 yards. Year 3, 64 for 849. Year 4, 102 for 1,000. This is where we started to really get to see some work and him become that guy. So 3 years of solid play. Don't get me wrong. 52 receptions his first year, 84 receptions his second year, 64 receptions his third, right? All under 1,000 yards in those first 3. All right. And then 1,000 yards, and then he became Stephon Diggs, right? You can't look at any other way than that. And this year so far, he's got 42 receptions, 470 yards receiving, and he's got 1 touchdown. And that touchdown, you know who he came against. So let's look up Mr. Worthy. Last one for the day, Xavier Worthy, because that's the one that everybody wants. Xavier Worthy. Hey, we should have drafted Xavier Worthy. What did he do last year? So Xavier Worthy last year, 59 receptions, 638 yards, and he had 6 touchdowns. A good, solid rookie campaign. This year, 21 receptions for 233 yards, and he's got 1 touchdown. So let's write that down. Xavier Worthy, so far this year, in the same amount of games that the Bills have played, he's got 21 receptions for 233 yards, and he's got 1 TD. Okay? That's Worthy. Let me just go back to what Keon's doing so far, because I think we are a little hard on Keon. We are being a little hard on Keon. And this whole offense isn't working as great, but it is what it is. Keon Coleman, look at these stats for me. You're kidding me. Look at, ladies and gentlemen, 21 receptions for Keon Coleman, 233 yards for, hold on. I got excited for a minute. I put Keon Worthy stats. I got a little too excited. Listen, that was a little creepy for me. Keon Coleman, pardon me, folks. I got over myself a little bit. All right. Keon Coleman this year, 27 receptions for 267 yards. Statistically, he's having a better year than Worthy. But yet, people will be like, we need Worthy. We took the wrong guy. We this, that, and the third. He's got Pat Mahomes out there. He's got Andy Reid. 21 receptions, 233, and 1 touchdown. And Rashee Rice wasn't playing. Guys, give him a break. Give him a break. Take it easy on him. Somebody said he was hurt. I don't follow the Chiefs. So was he hurt for a game? Was he hurt for multiple games? You guys let me know, because I wasn't. Was he? Are you asking if he was injured? To my knowledge, I don't remember him being injured at all. I don't remember him being injured. Did he miss 4 games? I could be wrong. I don't know if he did or not. I don't know. You guys let me know, because I don't watch these guys. Where he was hurt. Was he hurt? If he was hurt, then cool. Then that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was hurt. Okay, he was hurt. Like I said, guys, I don't follow that guy, right? That guy, the Chiefs, like that. So I'm just saying, We don't know if he was healthy, how much would he have done, this, that, and the third. Who knows? But the point is, he's in year 2, folks. He's in year 2. How did my take, people? Rico, he did miss 4 games. Okay, cool. Hey, guess what? Hey, Keon missed 4 games last year too, okay? So it is what it is. It is what it is. Actually, what did he do his first year? First year, he did 5... Xavier Worthy. Let me just... Because I think they're pretty similar, man. So if you're looking at their stats, let me see if I can put the actual year in. Oh, it's not letting me do this. What is he looking at? Okay, so I'm looking at the stats for Keon Worthy. Yeah, I just want to do the years. Anyway, the point is this, guys. Year 2. Everybody calm down. Worthy. Ain't nobody saying that Worthy's not better, right? Somebody's like, Worthy's better. Hold on, where that comment coming in? Worthy is better, bro. Stop. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's year 2. Give him some time to kind of, you know what I mean, get things going. Give him some time. And let's keep it all the way 100. Is Josh playing his best football? Is he? Let's be real. Is Josh playing his best football? No. Is Keon playing his best football? No. Is Joe Brady calling his best games? No. Are the Bills playing their best football? No. That's all I'm saying. Can he be better? Yeah. Absolutely. But I'm not going to dismiss what I'm not at all going to dismiss what Steve Smith had to say about him. I mean, he was watching him. He took the notes on him. Does he watch the Bills play every week? That's a whole nother ballgame, because you got to call out the Bills play calling. I mean, that play alone that he showed me was everybody, you know what I mean, is blocking, and you're the only one running a route on one-on-one. It's not like they're not giving his opportunities. They're not giving his opportunities. So anyways, it comes down to awareness. It comes down to situation. You got to do all that. By the way, you guys want to do a Ladd McConkey? I'll give you Ladd McConkey. Let's see what Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey stats. Let's see what Ladd McConkey, his rookie year. Let's take a look. His rookie year, he did 82 for 1149. And then right now he's got 43 receptions for 468. That boy playing nice. So could we have drafted Ladd McConkey? Heck yeah. Would Ladd McConkey would have been a perfect fit for the Bills? Heck yeah. He is a juiced up version of Cole Beasley. But y'all said, nah, we good. We good on Ladd McConkey. I think we fumbled the bag with that. Ladd McConkey was there for the picking, and we said, nah, we good. You could have had Ladd McConkey, but you said, nah. You could have had A.D. Mitchell, but you said, nah, we good. We want Keon. So you know what? And guess who handpicked Keon? Guess who had a say in picking Keon? You guessed it, Josh Allen. So guess what, Josh? You picked that, brother. Make it work. Make it freaking work. Oh, by the way, we could have had Ricky Pearsall, excuse me, and we didn't want to take him either. It's not like we didn't have the opportunities. We handpicked this brother. So it's on the management and it's on the quarterback to make that sucker work. Make that sucker work. It's not like you came in and it was another regime that picked him and that's not your guy. No, that is your guy. You picked him. So make it work. That's on y'all. That's on Josh. That's on Bean. That's on McDermott. That's on the whole scouting staff. That's on y'all. I would have loved to be a fly in the wall when that pick was coming up and who the names were that were in the hat and who they should pick and who is the deciding factor. Josh, what do you want, big guy? I want him. All right, well, deal with him because right now it ain't working. It ain't working. We need to see some things happen. Anyway, that's my time. I took up way more time than I wanted to. I really was here to talk some injuries, and here I am an hour into the show. So, folks, I appreciate you. Let me get some super chats in real quick before I do get out of here. My man Richard Fresh says, off topic, 2-0 Blue Jays. It should be a sweep if you think about it, because they should have won that second game. Then they won last night, and if we win, it should be a sweep. I'm getting ahead of myself with the Blue Jays. I'm getting ahead because the game's not over, but the Blue Jays are up 2-0, and they look damn good last night after an 18-inning debacle. 18 innings of dude. I had my superintendent came in and he was like, bro, I stayed up till 4 a.m. watching that game. Golly, baseball? Whew, couldn't be me. But I'm telling you right now, the Blue Jays should should be on their way to sweeping the Dodgers, the mighty, mighty Dodgers that everybody had the Dodgers coming in and sweeping and just waxing the Jays. And here come these Jays. Vladdy Guerrero Jr. doing his thing. Yo, we gonna do that thing. Anyway, Richie comes back in with a super chat and says, hey, the Gabe baby, hold on. The Gabby baby gonna score at least one tutty Sunday. I'm already lit on hump day. Shot time. Hit that horn. Just for my guy Richie Fresh, I'm gonna do it for you, baby. I'm gonna do it for you. All right, folks. Listen, that's my time. I appreciate your time. You guys, my man said, yo, Rico's high. Not at all, sir. Listen, but am I not on it? That first game, you already know what time it was, and then it took freaking 18 innings for you guys to take down the Jays, and then you saw the game last night. We handled y'all, and then look at now, they're up 2-0. So no, I'm not high. That just should have been a sweep. That should have been a sweep. And if it was a 7-game series, maybe 6-7. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it probably would have gone to 6-7 games. You never know. All right, that's my time. I've been hanging out with my kids way too much. By the way, my girls today won their championship for their league. They were the first group to do it in the last 5 years, so they get to bring the banner back to their school. What a game it was. And they were playing. So my daughter is in the 8th grade. My other daughter is in the 7th. So they both play on the same team. One's a striker, one's a defender. How cool is that? And they were playing 9th graders, a whole bunch of 9th graders. And these boys came in and handled business. Let me just give you a little synopsis on how this game went down. It was crazy. So we go up 2-0 at the beginning of the game. The game before that, this team was waxing this team 4-0. So we're like, oh, shoot, okay. We come in 2-0. Then they score 2-1. Now there's back and forth. There's extra time. Ball is at our end. My daughter, the defender, fouls one of the kids. Free kick. Ball goes into the box. There's a whole bunch of kicking. Ball kicks, hits the hand of my daughter on top of that. Penalty kick. By the way, this is extra time. The parents are losing it. These guys go for the penalty kick. The goalie makes the game-saving kick. She saves it. They win the game off of that. What a way to win the championship. Wild, wild ending. And that was my night tonight. And now we come in, handle business, talk some football. And that is my night. Fam, love y'all. Hope you guys appreciate the shows. Do me a favor, smash that like before you guys get out of here. And if you haven't subscribed, you haven't hit that notification button, you guys already know what to do. Go ahead and do that. If you haven't followed me on social media, go ahead and follow me on social media, man. I'm going to be creating my IG page, my Instagram page. So I'll be clipping a lot of these and putting on my Instagram page. So I'll let you know what it is now. I've set it up, but I haven't posted anything just yet to it. And then go ahead and follow me on your socials on X, Rico_BF. All right. That's my time for real. I'm out of here. You guys have a great one. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And until next time, it's your and I'm gone. Y'all.